Hello everyone, and welcome to another Shadowlands video guide. My name is Barokoshama, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the 9.1 changes to Torghast, all of the scoring systems regarding it, the Torments, how to get 5-star, flawless run, the Tower Knowledge, box of many things kind of stuff, and Venari items, farmable Soul Ash, and the new legendary currency, the Soul Cinders. You're going to need to know all this kind of stuff if you want to do your new legendary crafting tier 5 and 6 or level 5 and 6 legendaries. If you want to get all the new cosmetic items, the new mounts, if you want to upgrade your soulbind conduits and all that stuff using the new levels and all that jazz. I'm going to be doing over a lot of information, so the timestamps are going to be down below for each of the segments of the videos. Like the video if you like it, subscribe for more Shaman content and Shadowlands content in the future. Go and check out my twitch.tv live stream at twitch.tv/Barokoshama. And without further ado, let's get right into the video guide. So, the first thing that I want to be talking about is the changes to Torghast coming into 9.1. One of the biggest changes is going to be the Torment system. Now, these are just affixes that have been added to the whole of Torghast. Depending on how high you go into the tower, the more torments you're going to be adding into this. Of course, these torments get reduced, or you get to fool around with the torments with the box of many things and the tower knowledge, but we'll talk about that later. So a lot of these stuff can be compared to the Mythic Plus affixes, such as Raging or Twisted Magic, Magic Done increased by 50% for all players and enemies. There's Torments, but then there's also Blessings. So I believe they've mixed in a lot of these. Raging, we already know what that is, right? If an enemy is brought below 30% health, they gain 50% increased damage. There's also one where you get feared if you drop below, let's say, 40% HP. I can't find that one here. Where is it? Here it is. Thanatophobia. When you drop below 40% of your maximum health, you become horrified for 3 seconds. It's not a fear, it's a horrify. So unfortunately, I can't even counter this with Tremor Totem. So a good counter to this obviously is like a lot more of defensive anima powers that you can take into the maw from the anima orbs. So, but you can also use the box of many things and the tower knowledge to reduce how many, what are these called again? The torments, yeah. For the actual place whenever you start the Torghast run. So it's pretty cool. They also added a scoring system. Now the scoring system is the new feature for Torghast in 9.1. It has to deal with going from floor to floor, but also unlocking new layers, not new layers, but new floors after you've completed a flawless run. We're going to talk a little bit of how you guys can min-max the Torghast floors and layers themselves in order to unlock those, but you also have to get enough tower knowledge and unlock the new layers or the new floors from flawless runs using the box of many things. So the new floors are called the adamant vaults. Now you have to spend 100, not spend, but you have to spend 250 total tower knowledge to even unlock this row here. I've already spent 180 of my maximum score, so I'm going to be able to unlock this next week, actually, by putting 40 tower knowledge into here, 20 into here, and 20 into here, because I believe they go up in tower knowledge as you rank them up. The price of the next tier of the tower knowledge that you're putting goes up in price, so I can spread out the tower knowledge in order to unlock this, because you only get 180 tower knowledge per week. You're going to be able to get the Adamant's Vaults unlocked on week 2 as long as you're getting enough tower knowledge through the week and doing as much of the scoring system as you can in order to get as much tower knowledge as possible. Because the scoring system gives you a certain amount of tower knowledge when you either clear a 4-star or 5-star. They call them 4-gem or 5-gem runs in the actual game, but we'll just call them stars for convenience sake. So the new scoring system, it's all about fully completing the Torghast run. I know that's a little bit chorey, but with all the new systems in place, Torghast is actually a little bit more enjoyable. And for completionists like myself, when you tackle Torghast, you are more incentivized to actually complete the entirety of the floors and the runs themselves. So the new scoring system deals a lot with how you're going to go about the run itself. When you kill mobs, when you free soul remnants, when you destroy ashen phylacteries, you get points, of course. The point value is accumulated per floor, and you need a certain amount of points in order to unlock whichever of the gem or the star runs that you're going to be getting. Here we're showing 1 gem through 5 gem. A 4 gem run is going to be a minimum of 160 points. The 5 being a minimum of 200 points. Now, 160 points is not that hard to get. You can essentially get it by 1, not dying because you lose points when you die. 2, clearing the floor as much as you can, killing all the enemies, destroying all the phylacteries, freeing all the soul remnants, and also doing any quests like the Covenant NPCs that you see. Either you have to go and get an item, or usually you go and talk to another person of that same Covenant to complete the quest. Those also give you points. There's also a whole bunch of other stuff, such as the empowerment system. So when you kill enemies, when you destroy phylacteries, when you free soul remnants, you gain a power bar. Now this power bar you can actually use once you get a certain point in your power, and you gain a buff. Lasts about 30 seconds. You can increase the duration of this buff by using the box of many things and the tower knowledge later on. But the empowerment is really good because it increases your haste, your movement speed. It gives you a leech buff as well. And while empowered, all of your actions are doubling your points. So killing enemies, looting phylacteries, also doing the whole saving soul remnants and all that stuff. Losing points. I talked a little bit about this already. You lose points per death, but you lose 20 points per death, and there's no cap on this. So you want to save a little bit of time on your points, but also, like, I don't know why I said time. You want to make sure that you're not dying as much as you can, but also Venari gives you a Vessel of Unfortunate Spirits. You can buy this from her from Stygia. This will also cover you for your first death on the floor, or while in Torghast. So your first death will not count towards your scoring system if you do end up dying. So I do recommend actually getting the Vessel on Unfortunate Spirits. You can also earn extra points by doing certain achievements inside the run. Talked a little bit about this before, but you can do stuff like collecting 30 specific anima powers for the floor 5 boss killed in under 20 seconds. So if you're really, really strong, you know, and you do the Annihilator achievement, the Collector, the Daredevil Executioner, all that stuff. No duplicate anima powers. You can get extra points just by doing these little achievements as well. So if you guys want to check these Wowhead articles out yourself, I'll be leaving the links to all 3 of them that I talk about in the description down below, so you guys can check that out. This is a lot of these are actually really, really easy to get. So the collecting 30 anima powers, that awards 10 points. It's freeing all of the soul remnants, that awards 10 points. So if you are actually doing certain layers or certain wings of Torghast, I know one of the wings, which is like the Soul Forge area, it's really like, it's a fire-based wing where you can actually either free soul remnants or you can turn them into armaments to buff your character. I do believe that freeing them counts towards this, and turning them into ornaments does not count towards this. So if you do end up buffing your character with the soul ornaments instead of freeing them, it could actually hinder your progress with getting extra points and not getting the Savior achievement unlocked. So keep that in mind. There's also one that's like the Trap Master. Obviously, no trap damage taken. This is like the actual, like, the guillotines that come down and swing, any of the fire shooting out, any of the laser beams, all that stuff that's just, or like the spikes that come out of the ground. All of those traps, not necessarily the traps that the Torghast enemies will lay down, but the traps that are within the actual environment. Taking no damage from that gives you obviously an easy 10 points. And then the Plunderer, 90% of the Ashen Phylactery is destroyed. There's a lot of easy stuff where you guys can get. And it's just about pretty much clearing Torghast fully. That's the easiest way that you guys can get these 4-star, the 5-star, or the 4-gem, 5-gem runs. I did release, just before this video, I released a point of view of myself doing a 5-star flawless run solo as an elemental shaman. Of course, my character is very much geared, pretty much best in slot at 228 item level, so it's not that relatable, but it does showcase exactly how I went about doing it. Of course, I didn't die during it, but I did do pretty much everything on every floor, and I was very easily able to get a 5-star run on layer 9. So when we're talking about getting a 5-star run, the easiest way that you can do it is clear the entire Torghast, all of the floors within the layer, doing everything, and doing it without, 1, dying, and 2, within a reasonable amount of time, right? So if you guys are interested, I'll put the tooltip, not the tooltip, but the card in right here up on the screen, so you guys can go and check that out and see for yourself how I did it. But moving on to Tower Knowledge. Now, Tower Knowledge requires you to do the quest line, the Box of Many Things. And the Box of Many Things is part of the whole campaign when you do the new zone Korthia in Shadowlands 9.1 patch. You will eventually, within the campaign quest, get the quest to go to Torghast, and you can actually complete the quest on any layer. It doesn't matter if it's layer 1 through layer 9. If you want to just complete the quest, get it out of the way without much trouble, you can do that on layer 1. Very simple. So the Box of Many Things, when it's completed, it opens up the whole Tower Knowledge system. Now, you gain Tower Knowledge by completing 4- and 5-star runs within the Torghast, but once you do unlock the Box of Many Things, you actually make things a lot easier for yourself when you spend the Tower Knowledge on the trait. So here's just a couple of these things, like some quality of life stuff, like Efficient Looter automatically loots enemies, including Torghast bosses. This is really good because it saves a lot of time, and time is a factor when it comes to 4- or 5-starring your Torghast runs, right? Begin each run with 1 blessing. The blessings are just buffs, permanent buffs on your character that not necessarily take away the Torments, but will make things a little bit easier for you. And then obviously you can do stuff like begin each run with 1 fewer Torment. So as you not level up, but as you gain more Tower Knowledge and you spend it within the Box of Many Things, you're making things a lot easier for you week by week. That means the first couple weeks, the first few weeks of Torghast likely are going to be the hardest. Of course, we are still gated with which layers we can do within the first few weeks of 9.1. So this week, for instance, we can only do layer 9. Once you 4-star layer 9 once, though, the following week or whenever the new layer will unlock, you'll have access to it. So as Torghast gets a lot more difficult and the layers increase, we're also making things a lot easier for ourselves by getting Tower Knowledge and reducing the impact, or making things a lot easier within Torghast itself. Speaking of making things a lot easier within Torghast, Venari Reputation is still applicable within Torghast in 9.1. So in 9.0, you could buy upgrades for Torghast by spending Stygia from the Venari herself, right? And a lot of these are still really good within the 9.1 Torghast. So like we talked about before, Vessel of Unfortunate Spirits, your first death does not count against you. This works with the whole scoring system. Bangle of Serenity, while Torghast broker vendors will have a chance to offer you uncommon options when it comes to your anima powers. So all of these are still upgrades that are current in 9.1 Torghast. So if you have not gotten all of them and you see one like while in Torghast, your chance of receiving epic animal powers is permanently increased. If you haven't bought really good ones like these, consider going into the Maw, farming enough Stygia, getting your Venari reputation up if you haven't already, if you are looking to make your Torghast runs a lot easier. All of these will play a part into that. I'll be leaving the link to this actual Venari reputation guide in the video's description down below, so you guys can go and check that out. But also, you can just go to Venari and see which ones you're missing, because once you buy them, they disappear. So, easy enough. But making Torghast easier, I like it. The whole scoring system, I think it's cool. But the box of many things, it's just a way for you to kind of repeat the content over and over and over again, and allowing you to more easily get those flawless runs to unlock the Adamant Vaults week by week. Now, farmable Soul Ash. This is also another thing that I want to talk about. You are able to farm Soul Ash now repeatedly, but at a far more reduced rate. I believe that you get somewhere, if you've already completed Torghast for the week and you re-clear Torghast at the highest level, I believe layer 9, I was only able to get around 200 Soul Ash for completing that. I think it was actually a little bit lower than 200 Soul Ash, but nonetheless, it is farmable, but it's not lucrative, if I would say. The main things that you guys want to focus on is completing Torghast week by week if you do want to upgrade your legendaries to the level 5 and level 6 with the new legendary crafting currency, Soul Cinders. Now, Soul Cinders, you get far less of it than you do Soul Ash. It's also a good thing that you need less of it when it comes to upgrading from level 4 to level 5 and 6. You still do need Soul Ash, but you need Soul Cinders on top of it in order to upgrade your legendaries. If you guys want more information on the upgrading to level 5 and 6 legendaries, I'll leave the link to the Wowhead article talking about that down below. The biggest things I want to say, guys, though, is Torghast is still not a complete mandatory grind. It's a lot more enjoyable now, but they've also added a lot of cosmetic items, incentives to kind of grind things out if you guys are completionists, and they've severely hindered speedrunning Torghast, which is actually kind of funny because there's been some people testing out whether or not they can just run through the entirety of the layer without really killing stuff, without clearing things and killing the last boss, and it severely hindered their scoring system, obviously. So the time factor of the scoring system is not as big as people may think. I think I've spent upwards of like 18 minutes on some floors, and I've still completed those floors at 100%. So keep that stuff in mind. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this was knowledgeable for some people. Like it if you like it. Subscribe for more Shadowlands content in the future. And come check out my Twitch live stream at twitch.tv/Barokoshama. I stream pretty much every day after 2 p.m. and sometimes earlier in the mornings at EST on the weekends. So, catch you guys next time. Keep calm and Maelstrom on. Bye-bye. Hey, Arthas, you want some coffee there, bud?
I prefer iced.